DK back at you with another video here for the NBA main slate here on Thursday. Disappointingly, we got another 3-game slate. So again, the Tuesday and Thursday slates this week have been really small. So that's a little frustrating. But first, real quick though, let's see how we did last night. So as you guys can see, another pretty good night for me. Cash in all my cash games as well as the tournament here. So the final lineup I went with was Moutier, Drew Holiday, Covington, Ed Davis, JV, Teague, Anthony Davis, and Nurkic. And man, I gotta tell you guys, that last hour before lock was insane. Like, that was one of the most stressful hours before locks I ever had because there was just so much news dropping at once, and like I was trying to, just think through everything, and it was very stressful reorganizing my lineup, stuff like that. Okay, so once Ibaka got ruled out, I basically said, you know what, I'm locking in JV at 5,000. Yeah, he was pretty disappointing, only getting 22. He did get the minutes were there. He kind of got in foul trouble, guarding Drummond. But 22 at 5,000, it didn't kill you. Sure, it was disappointing, but he was really, really high owned. Ed Davis, so I got on him once Jarrett Allen got ruled out, and it was pretty frustrating. He only got 17 minutes, and he didn't see any fourth quarter run at all, even though Miami brought back in Whiteside. They kind of closed with Rondae Hollis-Jefferson on Whiteside, which didn't really make sense. Ed Davis had a really good game in only 17 minutes, 8 points, 9 boards, 1 assist, and a steal. So, another 5 or 6 minutes from him, and he's probably going to get me 30 fantasy points. So, again, that's pretty frustrating stuff I can't control. He should have definitely got another shift there in the fourth quarter to guard Whiteside, but for some reason he didn't. I can't tell you why. Covington, I said once I was going to wait. I said in my video that if he got ruled starting, I'm locking him in because he's just too cheap. And again, Thibodeau ran him out there for 41 minutes. Kind of what I expected. And he put up basically a Robert Covington game, 13 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He definitely racks up those peripheral stats. And he was just too cheap. So Drew Holiday, he was a little disappointing. Once Elf got rolled out, I kind of got onto him. He hadn't really let me down all season. It kind of was a letdown last night. He just couldn't hit any shots. His usage was there. If I could go back in time, I would play him again, 100%, no doubt. His shot was kind of off today. Moutier, the guy I talked in my video, just for salary relief, how we're kind of lacking some value. And, he did very good in his time, but he was limited again, which I did say could happen because the Knicks had a bunch of depth at guard. And, yeah, Moutier, he kind of got limited to 21 minutes, partly because of the blowout. I think if the game stays close, he sees, another 6 minutes or so. But again, at 3,700, pretty good, not bad. Jeff Teague, I got on him once Derrick Rose got ruled out. Teague was just too cheap at 5,600 in that up-tempo game. So I got on him. Anthony Davis, I said he was the stud I wanted last night. And, he didn't do bad, 60 fantasy points. Nurkic, a guy, again, I talked about in video. I loved Nurkic, and he was the late night hammer. He got me into the cash. So he had a very big game, played a bunch of minutes. So yeah, overall, it was a pretty good night. And again, guys, if you don't follow me on Twitter, it's very important to do so. I gave, all my thoughts as all this news came out. Like, again, an hour before lock, I gave all my thoughts and everything. So it's definitely very important to follow me there. Okay, so let's get into today's slate. Again, only 3 games, and it's kind of an ugly slate. So go lighter today than you usually do. I will definitely be taking it easy with this slate today. So I think I'm going to do something different. I think I'm going to go team by team here today since we only got 3 games. Real quick, we can look at the over-unders. So we got 219 for Golden State and Houston. Again, if this game was played last year, this over-under is probably like 235. But Houston's is kind of, they're not as fast as they have been in the past. Same with Golden State. Atlanta, Denver, 100% we got blowout risk there. 221 over-under. a game that easily could blow it. And then you got the Spurs and the Clippers at 217 with the Clippers favored by 5.5. Okay, so let's start with Golden State today. So from what we know, Draymond Green doesn't have a injury tag right now, but it said he was questionable for Fantasy Labs with a toe. So we're going to have to kind of wait and see. I mean, I assume he does play. Okay, but at the top, we got Kevin Durant at 11-1. So he was kind of a letdown against Atlanta, only putting up 45 fantasy points. I do think that kind of lowers his ownership tonight. And then you got guys like Harden, Chris Paul, Jokic that might garner more ownership than Durant. But with no Steph Curry, I think I'm going right back to the well of Kevin Durant here. Sure, I mean, they can throw PJ Tucker on him. PJ Tucker's a pretty good defender, but I'm not worried about it. It's Kevin Durant with no Steph Curry. I think I'm going right back to the well with him at 11-1. Draymond, I do have interest in him at 8K if he plays. He doesn't really have that massive upside, but I think he's safe if you're playing cash games. He's going to play 38 minutes or so. If he gets rolled out again, we could go to value guys like Jerebko, Jordan Bell, Lonnie. But again, it would be kind of tough to predict who's going to have a good game. I guess I'd probably lean towards the one who started if Draymond, for some reason, did get rolled out. Klay Thompson at 7-4. The price is just, he has been very productive here the last 4 games, but the price is just caught up, and I'm just not paying, paying a premium for Klay Thompson here. Again, his role doesn't change with Steph Curry. He'll still just run off screens and shoot threes, stuff like that. His role really doesn't change. So I think I am off Klay Thompson today at 7-4. Sure, he does have upside, so you can take a shot at him for GPPs. Quinn Cook, I would only have interest really if Draymond's out. If Draymond plays, I mean, again, guys like Iguodala can run the point. Durant can even bring it up. So Quinn Cook, with Draymond playing, only saw 22 minutes, got very limited. But again, with Draymond out against Atlanta, he got 34 minutes and 32 fantasy points. So that hinges on the availability of Draymond. I would be in on Quinn Cook if Draymond's out, and I will be out on Quinn Cook if Draymond is in. And then you got these fringe guys like Jerebko, Lonnie, Jordan Bell, McKinney, Damian Jones. Only really of interest if Draymond's out. And again, I'll probably lean towards the guy who picks up the start in that situation. Iguodala at 3.9K. Not a bad price for him. I do have interest today, especially if Draymond gets rolled out. Even if Draymond gets rolled in, I still think Iguodala is going to play solid minutes here. At 3.9K, I don't mind taking a shot there. Okay, so that's basically it for Golden State here. Let's move on to Houston. So James Harden at 10-7. I still think he's a little underpriced here. A pretty good matchup against Golden State. I'm not afraid of Klay Thompson defense. I think I will be going, definitely considering James Harden today at 10-7. Then you got Chris Paul at 8,000. I think he is too underpriced. So I definitely have interest in him. This game should stay close. And yeah, I think 8,000 is a pretty solid price for Chris Paul. If you're playing cash games, I think he's more of a cash game play than a GPP play. Let's see, Capella at 7,000. So I really liked him at 6'4". Now that he's at 7,000, I don't mind him. I just think I will be going elsewhere in today's slate. I think I'm leaning towards the more of a stars and scrub slate for tonight. And Capella in the mid-range here is kind of, I don't know if I want to go there today. So you got Eric Gordon at 5,000. Normally I would just completely write him off. Like, I got a guy that's never played. But on a 3-game slate, you have to take risks here. And Eric Gordon, he definitely has upside. He has looked terrible. His shot has not looked good at all. So I do think that will lower his ownership. But at 5,000, with all these injuries in Houston basically playing an 8-man rotation, I think Eric Gordon is firmly in play for GPPs here. PJ Tucker at 4.5K. You're not going to feel great about playing him, but his minutes are basically secure. They're going to need him to guard Kevin Durant as much as they can. And yeah, if he can knock down some of those corner threes, he can definitely get you there. He's a guy that he's gonna get a lot of rebounds. He's gonna get a few blocks and a steal here and there. Again, if he can hit a couple of those threes, he can definitely get you there at 4.5K. So we got Gary Clark is questionable right now. So if he ends up getting ruled out, that definitely boosts guys like PJ Tucker and James Ennis. I think the direct beneficiary would be James Ennis because PJ Tucker's minutes are already kind of secure. With Gary Clark being limited to 15 minutes last game, we saw James Ennis pick up most of those minutes. He saw 34 after being very limited here to 20, 25 minutes or so. So I think if Gary Clark gets ruled out, I do like James Ennis a lot at 3.7K for salary relief. All right, and I think that's about it for Houston. So let's move on to Atlanta, and a team I don't like targeting. Atlanta runs a deep rotation, and they're just not a good team. There's definitely blowout risk here going against Denver. A guy I think will be very, very low on tonight is Trey Young. After he kind of laid a dud against Golden State. He does demand. He has high usage in this offense. The matchup's not the best. Well, I guess he'll pick up Jamal Murray defense, so the individual matchup is pretty good. Denver overall is a good defensive team, but the individual matchup against Jamal Murray is a good matchup. And I think Trey Young is going to be very low owned. So if you want to take that GPP shot, I don't mind it. Taurean Prince and Bazemore are just guys I don't like playing. Prince did pick up 39 minutes last game. I think that was partly to guard Kevin Durant. Then you got Bazemore, who kind of got limited to 27 minutes. Both of them are just very widely inconsistent. And as you can see, 30, 14, 42, 24. You never know what you're going to get from them. Again, I think both of these guys will be pretty low owned. So only GPP viables for me. So we got pretty big news here. John Collins, I don't think he's playing. He's doubtful. Even if he did play, I think they would limit him. Big news here is Alex Lonnie's questionable with sprained ankle. If he ends up playing, Denver runs big. They run Jokic. They run a Jokic Millsap front court as well as a Plumlee Lyles in the second unit. So they run very big. So Atlanta is going to need all the big bodies they can get. And if Alex Len plays, I think he's firmly in play at 4.6K. I think he'll be pretty popular. The only concern with me is he gets in foul trouble a lot, and Jokic is great at drawing fouls. So I think there's definitely a high probability if Alex Len plays that he gets in foul trouble. So I think for me, on a 3-game slate, I want to take a risk here. Again, I'm only sticking to GPPs on this small slate, but I'm going to take, if Alex Len plays, I think I'm going to pivot to a guy like Miles Plumlee here at 3.3K, a guy who I think will be virtually unowned if Alex Len plays. Now, if Alex Len gets ruled out, Plumlee will basically become the chalk. He's forced to play huge minutes. Basically the only healthy bigs they would have would be Plumlee and an undersized Maurice Bowman. So if Alex Len gets ruled out, Plumlee's going to become the chalk. If Alex Len plays, which I'm kind of hoping he does, I think Plumlee will be virtually unowned, and I will take a shot at him. I think I'm going to fire him up today. Again, you have to take some risks on a 3-game slate like this slate, and Alex Len gets in foul trouble all the time. Jokic is great at drawing fouls, so I think I will take a shot here with Miles Plumlee today at only 3,300. Again, if Alex Len plays and gets in foul trouble, Plumlee's going to be forced to play big minutes here. At 3.3K, when he gets minutes, he's pretty productive. So, if he sees 25 minutes or so, I think he crushes value. I think he gets over 30 fantasy points. So, take that information with what you would like. I do really like Miles Plumlee for GPPs today if Alex Len does end up playing. So, we got a Maurice Bowman at 4.2K. He was a huge letdown against Golden State. Again, I was kind of on him. I thought Golden State played small ball, so I assumed they would limit Alex Len and play Maurice Bowman more at the 5. I was definitely wrong with that. So, again, Denver plays big. So they'll probably need Maurice Bowman to play some decent minutes here after he was a pretty big letdown against the Lakers and a huge letdown against Golden State. So I think he'll be virtually unowned today at 4.2K. I don't mind taking a shot at him, to be honest. Again, you got to take some risks on this slate. So I don't mind Spellman at 4.2K. DeAndre Bembry, his minutes have kind of been limited here. 17, 16, and 17. That kind of secures the minutes more for Taurean Prince and Bazemore. So I'm not really sure. I don't think I can go Bembry today if those minutes are going to stay like that. Jeremy Lin, if this game turns into a blowout, would see a little extra run. He did close against Golden State because Trey Young was having a very bad game. At 3.9K, he can be very productive when he gets some minutes. I don't mind that. And then, you got Vince Carter. I don't think I want to go there, even on a 3-game slate. Kevin Huerter, his minutes, again, are kind of being limited as well, so I don't think I want to go there. And then last guy I'll talk about is Alex Poitras. He did pick up 21 minutes against Golden State. Now, if Alex Len gets ruled out, again, Miles Plumlee then would probably be the chalk, and a Spellman would kind of be popular. But I think they would run some Poitras at the 5 here and at the 4. And I think he would be probably pretty low owned. So I would really only have interest in Poitras if Alex Len gets ruled out today. Again, I know I've talked about some of these guys. It's pretty gross, but you have to do it on a 3-game slate like today. So Denver, the big news here is Jokic. He went to the X-ray room, but he said he's fine. It does worry me, though. Most players, they always say they're fine. We don't really know if Jokic is going to play for sure. If he plays at 9.6K, I think he has huge upside, a good matchup here. Again, though, we've seen Jokic sometimes in this offense, he'll just, he'll kind of disappear, like against Boston, against Memphis. He literally had 4 shots. He shot the ball 4 times in 2 games. So when he wants to dominate like he did against Brooklyn, he can have a huge game. So GPP's only for me for Jokic today at 9.6K. Jamal Murray at 6.5K. I do like this salary a lot. A very good matchup against Atlanta, and his minutes are secure. He does have huge upside today, and I think he'll be somewhat low owned at 6.5K. So I don't mind taking a shot. The reason I think he'll be pretty low owned is because a guy like Monte Morris I think will be pretty popular today at 4.1K, and for good reason. His minutes are starting to become more secure, 26, 22, 28, and 31 minutes. He's a good basketball player. And at 4.1K, if he's going to see those minutes against the Hawks, I really do have a lot of interest in Monte Morris for salary relief. And, if this game turns into a blowout, that just helps Monte Morris even more. So a guy I like a lot today at 4.1K. Gary Harris, sure, for cash games, you want to go there. He doesn't really have massive upside. I will be looking elsewhere than Gary Harris. Paul Millsap, technically a revenge game here against his old team, Atlanta. He did show that massive 50-point game against Milwaukee, but that's kind of an outlier. I don't really think he sustains that type of upside. He's more of a cash game play for me if you're playing cash games. Again, I just don't really know if I want to go in this mid-tier range today. I'm looking more at the stars and scrubs approach. Trey Lyles at 4.4K. He did kind of get limited to 13 minutes out of nowhere. His minutes were basically secure at 20 and then kind of limited to 13. So that was a little surprise. I don't think that continues. I think his minutes are more, again, in the 20 range. And if this game turns into a blowout, he should see a little more run. So if you want to play that aspect of it, I don't mind Trey Lyles. Hernan Gomez at 3.8K. He did see massive minutes, 39 minutes. Again, a very low usage guy. But if you're running the stars and scrubs approach lineup like I am today, you definitely have to consider Hernan Gomez here at 3.8K. The last guy I'll talk about for Denver is Mason Plumlee. Again, if this game turns into a blowout, he should see a little more run. His minutes have been a little limited, 15, 15, and 14. after, seeing close to 20 minutes a game. But I don't mind taking a shot at him at 3.4K. When he gets minutes, he's pretty productive. And yeah, I just think that salary's too cheap for stars in the scrubs lineup. I am definitely considering Mason Plumlee today as well. All right, let's move on to San Antonio and the Clippers. So this is a late night hammer, and this is a game that I think is going to be pretty ignored by the masses. I think a lot of these guys will be pretty low owned. So if you want to play that aspect and maybe like game stack this game, I think that's a good idea because I think everyone in this game will be pretty low owned. And again, the over-under is 217, so it's right up there with the other two games. It's not like it's like the lowest over-under by far. So a guy like DeMar DeRozan at 8.8K, the salary's not bad. I just never play this guy. With Derek White being back too, it kind of limits his upside with the assists. Derek White does have the ball a lot of in his hands. So again, I think that limits DeRozan's upside a little bit here. But if you want a game stack, I certainly don't mind, going DeRozan and Aldridge and running it back with a couple Clippers. You got Aldridge at 8.2K. He was a big letdown against Phoenix. Again, I think that lowers his ownership a lot today. And I think it's a nice bounce back spot against the Clippers at 8.2K. I don't mind it. Rudy Gay, he was rested. He should be back though. The issue with him is now he's kind of being limited to like 20 minutes. At 20 minutes at 5.6K, I think I can do better. Derek White, someone I definitely have interest in at 4.8K. His minutes are, they're starting to be more secure. 30, 26, 29. Again, I think he's going to see, 25 to 30 minutes. The matchup's not the best. I mean, Patrick Beverley is a pretty good defender. You got Gilgeous-Alexander is also a pretty good defender. But a 4.8K, I think he is certainly viable. And then I don't know if I want to take a shot at any of these cheap Spurs with Rudy Gay being back. I mean, I guess the two I'd probably have the most interest in the cheapies are Forbes and Mills, just because they can get hot. And Forbes' minutes are basically secure at about 30 minutes. He's not going to get you a lot of peripheral stats, but, he could get hot. So you never know. And the same thing with Patty Mills. I don't mind taking a shot at him at 3.8K. Okay, let's move on to the Clippers. And Tobias Harris at 7.2K is still too cheap. Some people will be scared off by his matchup against the Spurs. I will not be. His minutes are pretty secure. And again, I think he's going to get you 35 to 45 fantasy points at 7.2K. That's not bad for today's slate. But again, he's priced more in the mid-range, and I'm leaning more towards the stars and scrubs approach. So I don't know if I want to go there for my one lineup today with Tobias. Montrezl Harrell at 6.2K, a guy I've been on basically every single day. I was on him way early on in the season, and I still think the salary is too cheap. Doc Rivers is basically, he's faced Boban out of the rotation, so it doesn't look like Boban's going to get any minutes unless they play like a really big team. The Spurs, not really that big of a team with Aldridge at center. So again, I think this is good for Montrezl Harrell. And he's just a guy that has a lot of upside here. At 6.2K, I think is too cheap. And I think Montrezl Harrell is my favorite Clipper today to target. Lou Williams. So Lou Williams, Beverly, and Avery, and Patrick and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I would have interest in if Avery Bradley's out. He's currently questionable. If Bradley comes back, that definitely lowers the minutes for all three of these guys. But Lou Williams at 6K, I don't mind taking a shot at him. Again, he's going to shoot the ball a ton when he's out there. And again, if Avery Bradley's out, he should see, close to 30 minutes. So I don't mind Lou Williams. Gallinari at 5.8K. Sure, you could go to him, but again, I would prefer, if I'm stacking this game, I think I would prefer Tobias Harris and Montrezl Harrell. But I'm not going to talk you off him. I think Gallinari is pretty safe at 5.8K. Gilgeous-Alexander and Beverly, I would have interest if Avery Bradley's out. If Avery Bradley's in, that kind of lowers my expectation for both these guys. If I had to pick one of the two, it would definitely be SGA. Doc Rivers is giving him all the minutes he can handle right now. And the rookie's been playing very well. So a 5.3K, I think I would take a shot on him. And then the last guy I'll talk about here is Marcin Gortat at 3.4K. Again, this is not the sexiest play at all, but he's basically going to see close to 20 minutes, and he's almost minimum price here. I think Gortat can definitely get you 15 to 20 fantasy points. And at 3.4K, I really don't mind that. Again, I really think I'm leaning towards the stars and scrubs approach. So I'm thinking about going with Durant, Harden, maybe Chris Paul, just completely stack that game, and then run it back with a bunch of these scrubs and just do that stars and scrubs approach. I think that's going to be pretty popular, though. I think Golden State Houston will definitely be the highest owned game. Atlanta Denver, again, that's got the huge blowout risk. And then the low owned game, the late night hammer. If you want to take a shot at a game stack with the Spurs and the Clippers, I really don't mind it. It's certainly viable. Everyone is under 9K. So I think that's definitely a game stack that is viable. And maybe I'll make two lineups. Maybe I'll do the stars and scrubs with Golden State Houston. And then maybe I'll do a lineup with the late night hammer just because I think it's be pretty low owned. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you have been enjoying the content, please like this video, subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave in the comments section down below. Follow me on Twitter. Again, that's very important. It will be in the description below. And unfortunately, I will not have a video up Friday for tomorrow's NBA slate. I will be traveling, so I will be back sometime Sunday. So again, no video for Friday or Saturday. I'll try to go on out there Sunday. I'll see what time I get back. But yeah, so that'll do it, guys, and I will see you guys in a few days here.